I was a writer. Now? Nah. They need to let him go now.
You know Dak Prescott's watching this right now, right? Actually follows the Can Fan podcast.
Woo!
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation, son! Let's go! Cowboys Nation represents! Cowboys Nation represents! Let's go! Get out of here! Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. All day, every day.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, Seattle.
Here we are at Lumen Field. And is that a Harry Potter reference? Maybe. I don't know. I've casted a lot of Lumen spells.
Lumen videos.
We want to see Deuce represent. We want to see him repeat. I want some repeats. And I don't need 3 beats if they repeat.
I don't need 3 beats.
I don't need
if
3
they
beats.
repeat.
If they repeat. Let's go.
You don't think we're gonna make the postseason?
Maybe wild card.
So this is
Maybe wild card.
This is where I'm like, I'm good for a good ribbing, but like to say we're not gonna make the postseason, now I can't even argue with you. Because you've
sucks.
oh God.
You know it too. You know it.
Who's your quarterback?
Fucking you got it.
This is our year.
Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Let's go!
Let's go, Cowboys! Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation showing up!
Most pristine athletes in modern history playing in the NFL. Even the offensive linemen are incredibly athletic. I mean, these guys are over 300 pounds, and you know they can
Not only the size, but the speed of the linemen. Are you kidding
fly
me?
on the field.
You're telling me a guy that's 330 pounds meant to block a guy that's 290 pounds is faster than me? A sporty 240?
High 240. High 240. High 240.
I could beat any one of those guys right now, and I've drank a 6-pack.
What? You're wearing Crocs!
My 40 time is better than any of them.
Erroneous! Erroneous!
Erroneous.
Erroneous on all accounts!
I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
How'd I do? 13-5.
Final quarter. Here we go, baby.
CD for the CD!
And I'm going for 2. Woo! I don't know why my safety was just playing off so far.
Tackle him!
Yeah, well, I might be a boomer, but you sound like a pipsqueak. You don't even know how old I am.
No!
You little shit. You didn't win the game, I lost it.
Make sure you know where he is, because he understands how to
Call
get
that a
open
throw?
in key situations.
I might be old, but at least I don't still piss my pants.
Protect you and your loved ones with Crackem VPN.
Ever heard the game Marry, Kill? Okay, like I'm gonna give you 3 people, and you're gonna decide who will you marry, who will you who will you kill?
Okay.
Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and Tony Romo.
Marry Jerry. He's got all the monies. Probably Tony. Dak Prescott. Gotta kill him.
I'm gonna Romo.
She's gonna with Romo.
I'm gonna marry Dak.
She's gonna marry
I'm
Dak.
gonna kill Jones.
She's gonna kill Jerry Jones. Who will you marry, kill between Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and then Tony Romo?
I'm out.
Jerry Jones, you. So Jerry
Jerry Jones, you.
Okay. Who will you marry, Dak Prescott or Tony Romo?
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo. That means you would kill Dak?
Yes. Marry Dak, kill Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, poor Jerry.
Tony Romo.
Why not? He's probably one of the best commentators, announcers on the game right now.
Tony Romo? That's mine. Yeah. That's mine.
Jerry Jones, right now. Right now. You heard it here, guys. You heard it.
We need trash can.
Oh, here we go.
AJ, you have to sleep in this for the night.
Yeah.
Football we already got. AJ's trying to take a piss right now. Trash can.
Stickers.
Stickers.
Couple stickies.
Couple stickies? Yes.
So we got a trash can. We're gonna go test it out in the toy aisle.
You're not getting it first.
First try.
He's not getting it. Give these guys a shot. They'll win a jersey if they get it. Oh, none of us made it. Come on, Dad. You get a free Cowboys jersey if you get it. None of us have made it. Dad's going for a shot. Come on, let's get it. Oh, that was the closest one.
Felt like the closest.
Gross. Yeah. We all missed it, so don't worry about it. We missed it. You guys go to the game tomorrow? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Us too.
Not only are we giving away 3 jerseys for whoever can toss a football into that can, we're also going to be leaving the can so someone can take that home too.
Look, there's still practicing. Always right set.
Guys, what are you doing here?
Game day, baby.
Game day, baby! Woo!
Kickoff's a month away.
Yeah, but we gotta get our reps in.
Yeah, they train, we train. Crack 'em, bro.
No, it's 7:30 and it's a Wednesday.
Road pop?
Oh! No, I'm going to work and I'm driving. Get out of my car.
Cowboys, we got him.
Super Bowl! Super Bowl! Super Bowl!
Let's get it.
Guys, can we just get one? I mean,
Let's just get one. Doing the Mojo Moment. We got Dak Prescott in there. What they do is they're running one play, and then right after they just kick a field goal. TP20 to the
out
outside.
to the left, gets tackled
Swallowed
behind the
up.
line by Micah. Micah and his gang.
The linebacker.
Linebacker gets
So they're going to
tackled.
come back out. Again, it's going to be Aubrey. He missed his first field goal
Was it
attempt.
short or left?
Aubrey missed left. Let's see if he can put it through this time. It is
Short!
short.
What the f?
Over 3.
That was like a 50-yard field goal.
Oh, was it?
That was a 50-yard attempt.
Yeah, but it needed to be 54 yards.
I mean,
that's over
you
3.
still, you gotta at least get the distance.
Go for 2
You know,
next
get the
time.
distance.
Just go for the first down conversion. Kicking is still a big problem.
Yeah, you're gonna run into those, and it's the distance though. Accuracy, okay, you can miss that from 50. I'll give you that. But if you're not hitting it, if you're not kicking it 50 yards,
So the issue right now, that was the 3rd Mojo Moment and the 3rd missed field goal attempt. We're gonna run out here, and TV Tristan Viscano is gonna go for his 2nd attempt.
you gotta go through all the motions, okay?
Yeah. So what they're doing, they're running the kicking team off. They're practicing in a last-minute situation, having the kicking team try to get out there in time to kick a game winner. There's been no game winners kicked yet.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Here it is though. Let's go, Tristan!
Come on!
Here we go.
It's supposed to be like a 50-yard
He's
field goal.
He's hitting this. He's hitting this. Yeah,
What
they're-
practice is for? Make your mistakes and then correct them.
He's gonna crank this one. He's gonna boot it, and that one is
Far left,
wide
far left!
Wide left.
Distance. He's got the distance.
I mean, I don't even know why I'm surprised anymore. Yeah.
So we just lost 4 games on game-winning kicks.
Crosby's available, right?
Yeah, I
someone.
think so. I think.
Gotta get someone. So yeah, he spikes it. Let's
And
get
bring
Aubrey
Aubrey back out.
Aubrey out for hopefully his first made field goal. One. Here it is. Let's get it.
Guys, can we just get one? I mean,
Let's just get one. Come on, Obs. Brandon? What's his first name? I mean,
Aubrey.
Aubrey? That's a nice kick. He got under it. That's good. Oh! That's one. That's one. That was a nice kick.
I don't think he has much leg though.
Now just
No, that was not.
now
that
just
was
do
not.
that
like
every
48
other
max.
time.
Yeah, that was almost short.
Yeah.
But hey,
That barely
you know what?
counts.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
What you just did, just rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. Okay,
TV lining up. He's 0-4-2 right now. This is his third attempt. Kicks it and
wide left.
Get him off
the field.
Go for two.
This is looking not good.
Well, I mean, look.
I mean, at least it's not windy.
I'm going back to the car. I'm getting my jersey. I'm going in.
Yeah.
Boots is
Hey,
in.
at this point, Boots.
His nickname's
Going
Boots. His nickname is Boots. He's
For a
got to be
reason,
good
yeah.
at
I'm
kicking.
going in. I mean, I can't do any worse. Can't do any
Yeah,
worse.
no
I'm
doubt,
gonna
dude.
practice my kicking.
Yeah, get your
Oh
kicking
my
game.
Get my
God.
jersey on.
Touchdown, baby!
John Stevens Jr. JSJ.
That little bastard! We are believers!
Shelby.com. Let's go Cowboys! Baby. To be quite honest, I've not seen enough of our boys out on the field who I want to see. So let's go. We got fucking 1/2 left.
Be a fucking Eagle. So I wrote back, well, Jaylen Herz wants to be a Cowboy. Like, he...
Yeah, did you show him the picture?
Exactly. Like, what are you going on about?
Yeah.
These guys get drafted. That's their allegiance. They want to get fucking paid.
They could have had Micah.
They could have.
They could have had
They
Micah.
picked, exactly.
They traded him. Do you remember they
They
traded
traded
him?
with us.
With us.
With us.
Yeah. We were back in 13. He came up to 10.
And gave us Micah.
Thank you.
You're mean. We're supposed to be practicing. We're supposed to be practicing. It's supposed to be fun. See the fact that I get it. Jaylen Herz had a great season last year. For me, before I crown him the best quarterback in the NFL or the best person that's ever been in the NFC East, I need to see at least another season of him doing it. Like, I remember the same shit with Carson
I think
Wentz.
you see 16
Carson Wentz
games.
I need to see one. I need to see him beat Dak Prescott. He's never beat Dak Prescott.
Never.
I need to see it. Get it.
Toby.
That's Toby. Toby, I'm telling you. WR4. That's Tolbert. That's Tolbert. Get that first down. First down. I'm a massive Tony Romo fan, right?
Cowboys kicking now. Start the score. We're down. We're not caring about the score. We want to see some fucking action, baby. We want to see some fucking plays. And right now, I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm going to be honest. I do not like what I'm seeing. That really throws a wrench. Just throw the fucking ball! Just throw the fucking...
I don't even really now the outcome of the game I don't care about. I don't care about the preseason outcome. I care about Overshow's ACL.
Right now?
That's tough. Fucking nest in there? Like, no, look at his feet. Are you making a nest? He's like burrowing.
Yes, we are raising the roof on this Wednesday. An hour earlier.
An hour earlier today. Look, the sun was shining.
Oh yeah, I'm burnt to. Look at this.
And burnt.
Look at that. I'm burnt to crispy maple syrup bacon Canadian piglet. Is what I feel like. I'm sizzling. I'm roasting. And you can see it's just us two tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bandwagon Boy 1 is gone on a work mission. He's out filming somewhere in the... I don't want to give away his position just in case someone goes and finds him.
And he's got a wing down.
That's what I was going to say. He's like in the... Not really near a major city.
Yep.
In British Columbia.
Yep.
And... we were just talking earlier today, and he's got
he's on the IR,
destroyed arm. Yeah, he's gonna start the season on the PUP list, 100%.
He went on a work trip. Yeah, and he's currently, I want to say he was in the hospital, wasn't he? Is what he was saying. They just doped him up on some, gave him some meds because they said they couldn't diagnose him.
Yeah,
what we got here.
Pineapple.
Oh yeah, I'll take a nice. Let's get one in us.
We got some pineapple.
So the what is it? The inmates have taken over the prison today. Crack them if you got them.
Yeah,
let's go.
But we do. I mean, I do feel for him because I'm not saying that I know the pain he's going through, but I've had a shoulder injury in the past, and I just remember it was the worst pain that I've ever had in my life.
And you forget that your shoulder's sore, and you go to do something that normally would be fine, like picking this up.
Yeah,
you go to pick this up, and it's like someone's stabbing you.
And it's so weird, too, because it's not always super consistent. Sometimes you're reaching out and it's fine, but then sometimes you reach out and then you trigger whatever muscle it is.
It bangs you up.
So, like, it's really hard to navigate. And
so he's on the IR.
Our hearts go out to him. But guess what? Adam, if you're not ready for the season, we are... Look, the next guy up.
It's what have you done for me lately?
We're treating this like Dallas Cowboys right now.
If you can't hold this, go like this multiple times in a stream. If you can't shoot him, if you boot him, if you can't shotgun with the best
of us,
we'll leave you like the rest. Just kidding. We won't.
But big shout outs to Bandwagon Boy 1, aka Adderall Adam, and hopefully he gets a little Adderall. I don't know if that's
get him juiced up. Chat, what is going on, man? Well, Brent Packer guy saying he's tore his rotator cuff once. It never hurt. I just couldn't put my arm up anymore. So adds in some pain. So we don't know what he did, but we will keep you guys updated. But for tonight, this main event, it's Bandwagon Boy 2, aka what's your Way J. And then
keep it simple.
Tony B.
Tony B. Way J and Tony B on the beats.
Let's get it. So what do we got going on tonight, man? It's, again, that weird, I know we say it every off-season episode. It's the Sahara Desert right now. But there has been some Cowboys stuff, and I feel like this off-season right now is a little bit more exciting than the last ones because it's so uncertain.
Well, there was so much added, though. If you think about last year, yes, we did obviously go through the drafted players. But I think, like, the biggest guy that we added to the roster would have been Tyler Guyton, who we were just not excited about it in the first place. And there was really no offensive moves aside from Eric Kendricks coming on. I'm sure there was a handful of guys. But guys that we were excited about. This year feels different. Also including, as well, too, the coaching changes.
Yeah.
So, like...
So much. Like, there's a lot of turnover this year.
Now...
So it doesn't feel like, it's like, it feels like a new team that we don't know what to expect.
We don't know what to expect. I'm excited for it. The excitement's there. And I was watching our boy Jay Tuck today, and he was actually talking about this. Let's bring up the first topic because it's something that, is on the minds and maybe even the crotches of all Dallas Cowboys fans out there.
I did see him tweet about this.
He did tweet about it. But I was watching Tuck's perspective on this, and I tend to agree, and we're going to get into it right now. The story being Cowboys Micah Parsons makes an announcement on his contract negotiations in the minicamp holdout. And let's get right to his tweet, right to the fucking fat.
Yeah, we don't want to trim it. We want to suckle it back.
Yeah, it's good for you.
So this is Micah Parsons' tweet about his coming up to OTAs and minicamp.
Yeah, and this is a response to Clarence Hill, who said, will Micah Parsons be back next week? Real quickly, he says about Brian Schottenheimer says, I would assume Mike and I have talked a couple days. He's doing a little bit of traveling and blah, 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 but I expect that he should be here. Micah Parsons replies directly to this tweet. I will be there. I haven't missed a mini camp in 4 years. Even though the contract is not done, I have teammates and a playbook. I'm preparing as if I will be on the field the first week of camp. But it's in the owner's hands. I'm ready to win a Super Bowl. So
I like the response.
Great response, but Tuck did mention, but it's in the owner's hands is a very crucial line. And I do agree with him because what he's kind of saying is like, he's playing ball here for the fans. Totally appreciate that. But really what it comes down to is if that contract isn't done, Micah Parsons will not be stepping on the field week 1. That's what this summarization is. Tuck didn't necessarily say that specifically, but this is what I got.
They would be so stupid. And this is kind of the first time we've really dove into the Micah contract talk, really. We haven't really talked much about it because all the turnover and all the new signings, the draft, it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle, whereas last year, the offseason, all we talked about was CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott because nothing else fucking happened.
Nothing else
happened. So this has kind of been on the back burner. And yeah, there hasn't been a story because Micah has been going to these OTAs and he's talking about he is going to go to minicamp. But at some point, like, he could at any time just be like, all right, well, fuck, I'm not showing up for anything else. Pay me. I deserve it. And we all know that he's going to get paid. It's just why even do that? Why even have this part? Just have him signed and ready to go.
I would always think that Jerry Jones would love to be the guy who's paying the highest paid player in the NFL, which is, I don't know that Micah Parsons is going to hit that, but he's definitely has the chance to be the highest paid defensive player.
At least, yeah, he's top 3, if not top.
Top 3, if not. The only thing I could see is that he'd match a Myles Garrett contract or something like that. But really, when we're talking about a handful of $1 million, what we're really like, I'm saying like a $3 million difference maybe on guaranteed or something like that, or even just difference per year. We're talking about a backup defensive tackle, which I know the Cowboys need, but at some point you got to be like, we got to put resources where resources are needed. Do we feel like we can replace Micah Parsons with either a bunch of players for that same amount of money, or is Micah Parsons just on the level of defensive end where it's the once in a generational player? And I don't use that term like lightly. I'm thinking there's a handful every generation, obviously, but there's 32 teams.
Yeah, but he has the chance to be you got to put him up there. Maybe not once in a generation, but he has the chance to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league, right? To even be in that conversation, you got to be pretty damn good. You're S tier of the league right now.
He's S tier.
And so there's like, I think that's actually funny that you bring it up. There's S tier, but then there's like, when you're talking about all-time greats, I think there's even a higher than an S tier. Like there's generation
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I guess Hall of Fame would be kind of that top tier. Because there's a lot of S tier players that don't necessarily make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You're like basically the 1% of football players.
Exactly.
Do you think he's 1% of the NFL right now? I don't know if I'd say 1%.
In his position, he is top 3.
Yes.
Anyone would argue that. I say he's the second, and I even say that he's competitive with Myles Garrett. Give him a full season and watch him overtake that. But the reality here is if you think you can replace him, then just fucking go ahead and do it, and let's get something for him. If not, sign the guy to the contract that we know he's going to get. The $3 million a year is the difference between a backup defensive tackle or not. And if we're worried about that, having that $3 million to do that, I think the focus needs to be shifted to, well, let's address the defensive tackle situation.
Totally.
And I'm using defensive tackle.
But it makes sense. It could be what?
Cornerback,
any linebacker, wide receiver, any position that you have your third or fourth.
If you're saving that money for something.
Right.
And you're not investing in this guy. And you got to think the salary cap increase too.
Exactly. So just do it. So chat saying Kyler Gaming, could he be franchise tagged? Yeah, he could. But Brent Packer guy brings up a good point. It's usually a bad idea because you have to pay top of the market and it's guaranteed. So if you're going to franchise tag him and you're going to end up signing him anyways, it usually makes more sense to just get the deal done because it's more team friendly. The franchise tag is never team friendly.
And
So that top money will be directly against the cap. All of it. All of it will be directly against the cap.
And you can do some funky things in contracts.
Yeah, you could even if they've re-signed him now, this year might not even count. They could make it so that this year he just doesn't even count against the cap.
Extend it, which it doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter unless you're trying to save money for next year. I think that we're going to get something done. That's my vibe. Micah's honestly, the maturity, the growth of Micah Parsons' maturity, I'm really seeing it. I'm also getting rid of those maybe shaking a little curmudgeon rust where I'm like, I don't really give a shit. I actually don't see him on social media too much anymore anyways.
It's just, this is it. This is like, it might have been for us the first time when the first bit of it happening, he was really the first kind of Cowboys player that had all this attention when he was on social media.
Yeah.
So it might have just been, it was like that first kind of, what should I say? The first time we've been exposed to it. And now it's been happening for his whole, his first 4 years. So we're just kind of used to it now. Now it's just like, pay him, let the guy chase the Dallas Cowboys sack record, and let's fucking dance, baby.
Yeah, and I actually, just speaking on that too real quick, and then we can move on to our next topic. But Micah was also talking, forget which interview this was. It was a recent one, and I should have remembered. But it doesn't matter. What he said is more important. And he said, like, he is building towards life after football. And the reality is we sit here as fans and look at him and be like, oh, man, you're going to have a 12-year career. But he doesn't know that. His leg could blow up on the first play of next year, and then all he has is what he has. So I get it, going to get your bank.
Don't you put that in the universe.
I don't. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Get your little pecker out and hit the top of the table.
I'm not Adam nor
Nate Dogg.
I don't call the injuries. But you know what I mean? Like, these guys, it makes sense. If someone tried to stop while you were at work and you were trying to, I don't know, build a lucrative pottery career, and they said, no, I want you to focus on the business when you're at home.
Yeah.
You might be like,
get fucked.
Yeah, get fucked. So,
and this is the most exposure he's ever going to have. Can you, before we switch off, I just want to see some of the comments. I love looking at comments. Like, what are some of the comments? Okay, you are incredible, Micah. I hope you land a massive contract.
Dustin is shoes.
I like to get the vibe from people.
Leader mentality, go get your money. People are on board.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's pretty much LFG.
My only thing for him is, like, we need...
There's the first podcast comment. You're not making enough on your podcast? Question mark.
There we go. Love it, love it. The only thing I say to him is, get out there for a full season for us, my dude.
Yeah, you got to. Hey, Brent Packer guy, lucrative pottery career might be my next fantasy football team name.
LPC, baby! Yeah. And also shout out to the SDFC.
Yeah, SDFC. SDFC.
Okay. Let's continue.
DCFC.
San Diego Football Club.
I know, but I was thinking because there's the hard hitters, the Cowboys fans.
Oh, yeah.
SDDCFC.
Well, hey, I'm not going to get in trouble with the SDFC.
I don't want to mess with anyone in SoCal after we have started a new segment where we watch fan fights, and let's say they're throwing down in SoCal. SoCal and fights at sporting events, that's that.
It's been about 80% of most fights happen in Los Angeles. But speaking of defense, this is a nice little breakdown here of a couple articles from Blogging the Boys, just put out yesterday. But this is Cowboys news. The biggest headline here is Matt Eberflus in cast of new defense players standing out at OTAs. So we could go to each of these individually, but also, you know how we roll. We like to just read headlines and kind of throw in our 2 cents.
Yeah, we're headline grabbers.
But I can pull up the individual articles if we need to. But this first one here is Matt Eberflus, the Flus himself. The Flus is loose, baby. He's turning heads, making good moves as a new DC. And
well, and this is the thing. Guys that became head coaches, they became head coaches because they were very good at their specific position before.
Yes.
Eberflus was very good as a DC, right? He maybe had some issues and didn't make some of the best calls as as a head coach, but now he's back where he's comfortable.
Yeah, and like pressure's off. Dallas's defense has actually performed fairly well over the last few years. So like, you know that you've got a good core group of guys. I don't think that they shook up the house too much, but I think that we did more additions than subtractions, even though we did lose a couple players. Is Fowler back on the squad?
Yeah, Fowler Jr. is back on the squad.
I mean, I love that.
I want to say I saw something out there that Pickens took number 3 and Fowler took 13.
I don't like that on the line.
I don't like 13 on anybody. It's just
31? No, they can't do it.
So I want to say I read that this week.
I like my 9.
They swapped. I think Fowler was 3 and I think they swapped numbers.
I like my line. I like my D linemen in 90s and 50s.
Yes. Well, Micah with the 11's kind of badass. 11.
It is, but it's nothing. It's not what I would look for. But he makes it work.
90s I like. 90s on D line. Your edge rusher. I think of like a D-Ware.
55, 53, 52.
Those are badass numbers. Usually like good at linebacker numbers too. But yeah, the single digit number or the teen or like the teen numbers. I'm just used to those being wide receivers. Or like quarterbacks, like shitty third string, like 13's usually like a shitty third string quarterback.
It's funny that linemen get to use the wide receiver numbers.
It's weird. The whole number change. I'm finally getting used to it. Remember when it first came out when they were able to kind of pick whatever numbers like to an extent? It was so weird.
Is this practice squad still? What the hell?
Yeah, you had running backs wearing number 7 and number 1. You're like, what the hell is going on here?
As you can see, I am looking for a new phone, and that's why I'm getting these Best Buy ads.
At least it's not vibrator ads.
I know, hey. Those were just for Christmas.
I swear, I wasn't searching. I was just.
I don't know. What
defects.
The hell is that?
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Pocket. What?
Pocket thumb.
But here's the good out of Eberflus. And actually, we've brought this up before a little. We are concerned with the cornerback depth going into the season and even beyond. Barring the rehabilitation of Trevon Diggs, but Israel Mukuamu, and this article is not written the greatest, I do have to say. There's some errors, but I did read through it. Yeah, but Israel Mukuamu is moving into the slot corner role.
Interesting.
Yeah,
because he's big. I want to say Mukuamu's like 6'4".
Yeah, no, he
is. Which is weird. That's kind of a weird spot for a big guy. Usually you'll see slot corners being on the smaller side height-wise because you can get low and your hip movement's a little bit easier. I want to say Mukuamu's at least 6'4".
It also might be that you just got a lot of talent in that safety position and only 2 spots to play guys.
And there's a lot of, like, we need to find a nickel.
We need to find
corner.
a nickel.
Like, someone's got to be there to play nickel.
I can't bring it up aside, but you are right. He's in that 6'3", 6'4" range.
Not 5'9" or whatever Jordan Lewis was.
Yeah, exactly.
So that'll be a new trick. That'll be interesting to see. Because I have wanted this for, I just want to read that one thing there, AJ. Yeah. The writer, the journalist said, I have wanted this for the last 2 years. He has shown he can be a baller. All right. Well, Eberflus might have also seen that.
Time to
let the Flus loose.
This is why I got to get on this 5G.
You got to get logged in. You got to get jacked up.
You guys can just watch this happen. I'm getting on that 5G.
Now it's like you're flying. Now you're flying the Falcon.
There we go. Hang on.
Let's get one of these shots here. Look at that. Look at the background here. You never imagined there was someone over there with the background? Creepy corner over there.
Oh, God.
That's usually where I'm sitting.
6'4", 205.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's light on his feet, so I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking here. I guess, it doesn't really add up with a 6'4" guy. You just assume that he's not going to be getting that left to right movement as quickly as a wide receiver popping out of that slot position. But hey, we need someone to play that position. This is where the writing gets really bad. Zimmer actually played because Zimmer didn't play. So he's talking about Mukuamu.
Yeah.
Mukuamu actually played a career high 201 snaps, only 201 snaps. But he saw fewer than 10 defensive snaps in 9 games and only played in more than 20 snaps in 3 games.
So hasn't. So it's kind of like in the UFC when you have a fighter that's never fought in a 5-round fight, or even never, like, say, a heavyweight that's never been past the first round.
Yeah.
It's kind of like uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know if you can have this guy play multiple games in a row at 20 snaps a game.
Kind of like the same hype with Sam Williams. He played that when the one full season he played, he had like 30% of the snaps and was performing. If you would have extrapolated those stats, he would have been one of the best on the team in terms of quarterback pressures and sacks. But is that just coming in and taking advantage of the opportunities? You're fresh. And so that's something that you really got to see. Yeah. Can you play the starter role and still keep up that pace?
That's what shows. That's how you get a second contract.
Mukuamu's been on the team since I can remember.
Yeah.
He's been on for years. Let's use him and let's see what he's got. And guess what? If he doesn't work out, that's okay, because we didn't really have a starter in that position anyways.
No, that's going into camp. Nickel corner's got to be one of the hottest positional battles.
Well, because you got to flush out cornerback 2, which I'm assuming is going to be Kair.
Yep. Kair, Elam, and Bland will probably be your 1 and 2. It's looking like, and then
we're assuming
unless Savon Revel can get healthy and ball out. But then, that nickel spot's going to be highly contested, man. And that's definitely one of the battles we're going to be watching during training camp.
Super necessary, because teams will be able to cook the Cowboys if they have 2 great lockdown centers, but no one in the slot. They'll just cook us.
You need to have your slot player, and that's why having Jordan Lewis was. I would have loved to re-sign J. Lou, but he was pricey. But that position is super important because the slot corner has to be able to cover. You're lined up with that wide receiver. You could be lining up like against a CD Lamb type player, and he has the whole field he can go. Yeah. He's not just stuck. He doesn't have the sideline guarding him on one side. He's got the whole dang field if he wants. So you got to be damn good. So let's hope he can ball out.
A little tidbit here on Osa Odighizu, no doubt, who managed to sign a new deal with the Cowboys. Let me just open up this whole thing. It's not a video, but it is just a little quote, and it's nice to read. So Osa says on the emphasis, new DC Matt Eberflus puts on his position and how opportunities could be different this year. This is actually a really eye-opening quote. Maybe not so much because Zimmers was on a 1-year stint and literally just coming in to get a little paycheck.
Just up his money so you go gamble.
Don't blame him. Just based on some of the things we're being asked to do right now, I was going back and watching some of the tape from last year, and I'm like, if I was doing the stuff we're being coached to do now, I'm making this play. I'm making that play. Just seeing there are going to be a lot of more opportunities based on the stuff he's having us do. So it looks like
interesting. Like what could like. I'm trying to think of an example. Of course, I'm not a football player, right? So I'm not watching tape how these guys watch it or being coached how these guys are coached. I would love to see what he's meaning.
It could be simple things, or
I would love to see like a situation where he's breaking it down, saying, "Well, last year I was doing this, but I was told this year if I'm in the same situation
to do this."
Like it'd just be interesting to see a video like that.
Actually, you know what, Sam Leaf, we know you're listening here. Why don't you get Osa to spend a couple hours and
break it down for us.
But no, that would be really cool. But all in all, there's the positivity coming out here from the players' mouths, as well as how Eberflus is helping to, make that defense just a little bit better.
And I'm trying to think back to last year at this time. Were we all rose-colored glasses with our coaching and like Zimmer? I think we were.
I think we were just hyped to get a change-up. We were, if I remember correctly, I was pretty high on Zimmer because I was like, oh, this is going to be something exciting.
Hard-nosed coach.
Hard-nosed coach. I don't really like the I'm friends with you approach, but I could be wrong in that, I don't work with 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds. So, and it was also the takeover from Vanilla Pudding himself.
Right.
And so, Mike, I think we were, it felt new, but we knew the writing was on the wall because they didn't sign McCarthy to a longer contract. And so actually I think we were expecting them to re-up Mike McCarthy for 2 or 3 years. They made the switch here. And now I think I have more rose-colored glasses if I'm going to compare the two. Because last year I think we were just looking for something to be excited about in an offseason that was pretty fucking boring. This year, sure, I'm wearing rose-colored glasses, but I don't think that I think that this is much more of a shift, obviously, with an entirely new coaching staff. So maybe those glasses are warranted. But one real quick hit on just to continue on this defensive train. Elam could wind up as one of the more essential Dallas Cowboys acquisitions. And we were already talking about this.
He's already turned some heads in the first OTA practice. We like to hear that.
Yep.
I think you had brought him up a couple weeks ago, AJ. You were talking about Elam, that he was kind of turning some heads.
Turning some heads, but also, like, I think he's just kind of been a forgotten acquisition. You know, we forget that we get this guy. We draft a young cornerback and actually should be focusing more on, in my opinion, Bland needs to be looked at under a microscope as well. Our entire cornerback room needs to be looked under a microscope because really, Bland has been very good. I would say if I was comparing Bland's interception season compared to Diggs's, Bland outperformed Diggs. Even though Diggs had more, Bland had the better overall cornerback. Like, he was able to take the ball away, score touchdowns, and still play. I think he's a better cornerback naturally. Yeah, he can tackle.
Like, it wasn't scared. You know, and that's, I think, growing. I think that's being a defensive player in college, which had a little bit to do with that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I agree. Diggs watching Diggs pick off the ball 13 times, whatever the hell it was. I think what was our first year.
Don't get me wrong, I loved it.
I think it was our first year doing the live stream. It was pretty exciting. But the Ron Bland pick sixes are just another level. Like, I think those are the most exciting plays.
And just comparing the two guys' skills, if I had to only pick one of them, I would pick Bland at this point. And so take that for what you will. It's not necessarily fair because Diggs has been injured and, you know, recency bias. But we're still in a position where it's Elam, it's Diggs. Or sorry, it's Diggs for sure whenever he comes back. Bland and Revel Jr.
Which that's looking all right.
It's looking
honestly.
You know what?
I'd feel more comfortable if Diggs was fully healthy.
For sure.
But
absolutely.
I mean, even if it's, and you got this up right now, but Elam is like, and is it Elam? Elam?
Let's go with Elam.
But like, if he's out there and he plays just average, he just has to play average. And if Deron Bland can continue his kind of arc, it's not a weakness.
It's not, and then look, the floor is low and the ceiling is high with this Cowboys cornerback room. I do think that we're going to see. I like Elam, first round pick. Didn't really have that success that he was projected to have with the Bills, but a new team, he's got a new opportunity, and guess what? Like, literally, the door is open for him to take a starting position on the field. So, but here's what they have to say. Let me just pull this up. This is by Tommy Yarish.
Let's hear it, Yarish.
Some overarching Cowboys notes for the second media viewing period. Deron Bland spent a majority of the time in the slot during 11-on-11.
What do you take from that?
I think
he's running slot.
I think they're just checking it out. I wouldn't care if he did. I wouldn't care. I don't really care. Slot is not a unique position anymore.
No, it's slot receivers.
Pretty standard.
You're the only thing that would make me. Okay, so say this, just so that Bland's on the field all the time. What would, like, if Bland was on first down, if he's not out on the field, because I think he's a nice physical cornerback, then I wouldn't want him playing slot. But if they had packages where he was out wide playing cornerback, and then when it got down to the offense running, 4 wide receivers, he moved to the slot. I wouldn't hate that as much.
I think you got to have a versatile. I think it would, like how I would set it up. If, let's say here, just from this tweet, and we're not even all the way through it, but if Bland is the guy who plays best in slot, then I would just have, whenever there's a slot position on the field, Bland is playing there.
Yeah.
When there's no slot, Bland is taking what our RW1, the X.
Okay.
Okay?
So you're saying move with him.
I'd say he'd move with him. And then when Bland's in slot, now we got to figure out, okay, who's taking wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. Because you're right. As a cornerback, if I can get, maybe it's Mukuamu. Maybe Mukuamu is really good at just keeping guys to the outside, not letting them get inside on him long enough for the quarterback to have to look another way. And he's a big boy, so he can get up there and swat the ball or catch the ball. And who knows? That could be a really interesting thing. But I think all NFL teams should get away from locking a player into a position and being like, well, that's what he does.
Yeah, you're left. The only thing, because I agree with you, versatility is huge. But if you have like that Darrelle Revis, which we don't, who can just take away a whole side of a field,
then maybe
that's generational. Like that's not a thing.
And if you have that on the team, like let's say Diggs comes back and that's his best role is to just play the right side of the left side of the field.
And then Deron Bland can be left corner and slot. I would actually like to see because I don't know if I'm sure maybe it's happened, but it'd be cool to see a cornerback rotate kind of how a wide receiver does.
Yeah.
To benefit your team. Like you see a CeeDee Lamb playing outside or playing in the slot. Why not do that with cornerbacks?
Or if Bland is going to cover wide receiver 1, he just follows wide receiver 1 wherever he goes.
Yep. Near that bitch.
Who knows? I mean, like that's how I think would make the most sense. Of course, you got to have the players who can do that. Next note here is rookie linebacker Shamar James was absent from practice. So was Parsons, as expected. Kyer Elam had another pass breakup, this time in the middle of the field against Dak. There was a heavy rotation across the board with the first-team defensive tackles and edges. Dante Fowler, Nealand, Peyton Turner, and D-Easy all got time at defensive end. Rookie defensive tackle Jay Toia took a couple reps with the first-team unit.
They got the big boy out there.
And actually, you know what? Oh, let's just have a look at these guys. I just want to bring. There we go. There he is. There's our boy.
Yeah, there's Osa. Osa looks like Nealand.
This is the linebacker, right?
I don't know what number that is. It's either
90?
30 or 90 or 80.
Or 80. Anyways. But actually, this is a nice little transition here to our next talk. Because there's been a lot of noise. Maybe it's just been today, because this is when I look at the news. Or actually been in the last couple of days. But people are highly touting Jay Toia as potentially dethroning, if you can say that.
That's very, very loose. Very deep. It's like more like just dragging out by the feet.
Yeah, Mazi Smith's job at defensive tackle, because realistically, Mazi Smith has not owned that position. Maybe he was the starter, quote unquote, on week 1, but he was not the starter throughout the whole season.
No, at all. Not even close. And even if Jay doesn't come in and overstep Mazi, at least Mazi has to beat him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at least there's some competition.
And we're talking about a first-round draft pick versus a 7th-round draft pick right now.
So imagine, what would that say if that 7th rounder does come in? That's it for Mazi. If a 7th round pick comes in your year 3 and steps over you and takes the starting spot, you're done. Like that's we've sat with Mazi year 1, year 2. If year 3 or 7th round pick comes in and
not looking to sign him again.
Hell no, you might even be cutting him.
Yeah.
You might keep him this season.
Keep him this season
but the following season I'd say he's gone.
Yeah,
he gone.
And you know what? You give him a little bit of, I don't know, is this a positive or negative? This is his 3rd defensive coach in 3 years.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's not great, but it's also
no continuity.
Also, I just wonder how much different his position is. You can, when you're lining up, you're either going left or right or straight. Yeah. You know, like, not to sound like, and I probably sound like a dummy. But I don't know, like,
Well, the big
if you're
fucker,
not-
realistically, the big fuckers, I don't know if you are that wrong.
no, that's what I'm
They're
saying.
they're either eating this hole, eating that hole, or eating straight ahead.
Or eating straight ahead. And if he's not able to do it with 3 different guys in 3 different packages, if they are different enough, yeah, you got to call Mazi a wash. And then I got to ask you if Jay, 7th round pick, Toia?
Yeah, Toia
takes over, is he going to, is Mazi Smith the biggest kind of bust in Dallas
He'll be up there.
Cowboys?
He won't be the biggest just because
Claiborne?
he won't be the biggest because he was still drafted in the 20s, right? But he'll be up there. The crazier thing is one of the other biggest busts for the Dallas Cowboys in draft history. Grab me one there too, AJ, please. One of the other biggest busts that have ever came from the Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, really?
So I know you're trying to find a college team to watch, but if Mazi Smith peters out, well, you got Mazi Smith and Taco Charlton, who have been 2 of the biggest Dallas Cowboys draft busts. Oh, yeah. Hook me up with that there, brother.
The only other ones were Dark Cherry. I know you don't like that.
You know, I do it the pineapple. Crack him if you got him.
Crack me if you got him. But
Did I say crack him if you got him when I opened my first one? I don't know if I did. So crack me if you got him.
Wind the tape back. But here's what the article here has to actually, who is saying this? Let me just see if they have. They don't have.
So,
it.
AJ, while you're looking, we got Stephen White saying, I just liked in Bullseye Shame, liking y'all. And then Brent Packer guy, yeah, like and subscribe. Get these guys to 25K.
Get us to 25K,
Do
baby!
it. We'll show our nipples.
Right now, we are walking through the Mad Max desert right now, just trying to get to some water at some weird watering hole where.
Yeah,
the inbred.
The new Mad Maxes, they're crack if you got to make you very, very, very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. What movie was it that you just watched?
Sinners.
And?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I think it was my favorite movie of the year so far. The only thing I'm mad at is I didn't see it in theater. I wish I would have went to the VIP, had a beer or two, had some popcorn. That Sinners is a movie theater movie in my mind.
Absolutely. And did you like that musical part where
I loved it.
Everything starts meshing?
I loved it.
Holy shit. I thought that was the most.
The funniest thing, Tay was like, at the end, she's like, it was kind of like we just watched a musical. Because there is lots of parts with music.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't think of it that way. But there's a lot of singing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parts where they're singing, like different people are singing. It was done really good. I fucking love that movie.
And some things these are all these things that we're bringing up are some things that people are knocking. I also really loved how it almost had a little bit of a From Dusk Till Dawn vibe.
Totally.
Where the first half of the movie was about this one thing, and then the second half of the movie was.
I love that if no one had had no clue what the movie was even titled, and they sat there and watched it. Like you said, they would have no clue. It's 2 movies, essentially. Yeah. I guess at the start, they kind of showed the one dude.
Yeah.
Without that, maybe.
Without that.
You would have no clue.
You would have no. And they didn't really even need to do that. I would have accepted just strangers showing up, weird strangers showing up.
Yeah, know? Just those 3 showing up with the guitar. Yeah. No, I liked it. It was good.
All right. We'll jerk off about that later together.
Back to back or face to face? That's the question.
Hey.
Well,
Chat's choice.
Chat's choice.
But this is what they have to say about Jay and him ready to make a push on Mazi's job. And like you said, competition is healthy. I actually really do hope Mazi Smith says, no, not today. And he keeps his position because that would mean that we'd have 2 really good dudes.
Got some depth there now.
But either way, so the Cowboys chose UCLA's Jay Toia in this year's 7th round, the 6'2", 342.
That's a big boy. He's done a couple Whataburger mukbangs.
Oh, fuck yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. Sold out mukbang. He's powerful, old school nose tackle, capable of eating up blocks, resetting the line in scrimmage, and allowing those around him to make plays while he does the dirty work. The Cowboys coaching staff has already taken notice of his effort and skills by giving him repeated work with the first team defense, according to Tim Ham of Athlon Sports. Believe it if you will. I don't trust Tim Ham. He's a liar.
He's hamming it up, would you say?
He's a big hamster. Again, no team is running in full pads yet, so
hard to tell. Take what you can from it. But one thing I like is in situations where you know it's going to be a run, well, now you could put Mazi and this big tub of lard out there.
Oh, sure.
I call him a tub of lard. He probably looks like he's in better shape than me. But 342 pounds at 6'2", that's a dense Dense man.
That's a dense dude, and like he's got that Samoan bloodline, which I love. That Polynesian punch.
I love it. And now you're gonna have Maurice Leofau behind him. We're Polynesian it up.
Yeah, don't
don't
forget
think there's
about
a
Leofau. Haven't heard much about him this offseason.
Haven't, which that could be good or bad. I think being no news is always good news because you're probably just quietly progressing.
Yeah, exactly. Next little hit here. Not a big thing, but I did just want to bring it up to get your thoughts, Antha. Trevon Diggs has a bold rehab choice that puts a big chunk of his Cowboys contract at risk. So he is deciding to rehab his injury in Miami and not Dallas under the watchful eyes of the questionable Dallas Cowboys medical squad. And it could cost him, I believe, up to $500,000. So not a lot in his 5-year, $97 million.
Yeah,
and if he feels strongly about the people that he's working with, that they're going to give him the best chance. Number one, if I was Jerry Jones, I'd be like, okay, well, why don't you like our staff? Like, what's up here? Just like,
what did they get ranked? Remember when they did they went around the NFL or whoever the fuck it was, went around and they gave rankings to all the teams, like facilities and training staff. Let's see what the Dallas Cowboys training staff, because that's what it'd fall under, right? Training staff? Or medical staff? Is there a certain...
Yeah. I got it. It's the report card.
So what we're doing right now is AJ's just checking out. We're looking at the Dallas Cowboys report card to see why Trevon Diggs has chosen not to necessarily rehab with the Dallas Cowboys and go down to Miami and get his rehab down there. So the Dallas Cowboys...
Unfortunate. Hang on. Can I... No, I have to just go down. So, training staff. Okay, it does keep at the top. That's Dallas
nice.
Cowboys right here.
Okay, there you are. So what is...
A C.
A C.
Training room. C.
So you're talking about the most profitable franchise in sports history and currently, and they're getting ranked a C for their training staff and training room.
Yeah, and this is money. This is just Jerry Jones spending money on his team. Rich ass, $10 billion franchise owning, most in the world, Jerry Jones, not spending enough on his training staff. Now, this came out previous, so Anth was just remembering that. And then we get this from Trevon Diggs, who says,
Makes
you know what,
sense.
I'd rather stay in Miami. And, look, Miami is really not that far from Dallas, so if you want to just stay in Miami and then just get rehabbed in Dallas, he could make that flight.
I don't look too much into it.
Me neither. I don't look...
Honestly.
Some guys get in, like Zeke for years had his own off season.
Yeah, a lot of guys do.
And I respect that, and I get it.
It comes down to you as a player, and you mentioned it. If you think you're going to get a better rehab situation somewhere else, I mean, it's in the best interest of the player to do that.
Yes, but no matter how you mix that, if the player thinks I can get better rehab elsewhere, then I think the team needs to go, okay, why do you think that? And where are we lacking that you wouldn't want to come to our medical facility?
Right? Definitely. Couldn't agree more. Typical Cowboys fan saying Diggs' training is fine, in my opinion. I've looked into a couple of his videos. And Stephen White, I bet they have awesome nachos too. Oh, and I think he's talking about the nose nachos, maybe. Speaking of, did you see the video of Diggs' brother, Stephon Diggs, giving out the...
Should we rip that out?
Yeah,
the pink powder?
The pink powder? It's a very weird video. So speaking of awesome Miami nose nachos and the Diggs brothers, we're going to go on a little Can Fan side quest here and see if we can find...
Is this it?
I don't think so. Is that a new video? Oh, there it is.
There it is. Okay.
Good thing I just... Oh. So this is...
show that booty video.
So this is Stephon Diggs. Love it when you call me baby.
Where's the pink? Where's the pink powder?
He's getting them to call him daddy. And then pulls out a little wallet thing. I'm too poor to know what that even is. Oh, so it's not. She picked it up. I saw a different video, I thought.
No. So he pulls out a little flap. They want to get high on this stuff, and then she takes it, and of course
it gets crazy. Yeah. And we all know what happened after that. Crazy segue.
Well,
what other one? Go back to the videos here. Yeah, do this one. Get sound here. Go to the start. You got to hear the question.
Devin, what guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
What the hell?
Wait, listen.
Man. No. We're going to leave it like that. No.
Okay, what guy on this team would you let date your sister?
It ain't you, B-Rob. You know that right now. It ain't you.
That's fine, because I'm actually married with 2 kids. So.
Oh, usually it goes on to a bunch of other guys. There's a clip of it, and he asks, "Oh yeah,
Rudy or Thielen? Why Rudy or Thielen? What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
Oh, Stephon Diggs.
Why Diggs?
He's crazy. He's just outrageous. Don't know what he's gonna say.
Because he brought all these guys to fuck chicks is what he did.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Date my sister.
What guy on this team
Smart dudes.
would you let date your sister?
None in the world.
I think I'm going to go with you, B-Rob.
Oh.
Why me?
That's just a joke.
At least I should date my sister, Diggs.
Okay.
So Diggs is a wild man.
But you know what? My thoughts on this is...
But back to the trade. Back to Diggs not rehabbing at the facility, at the Cowboys facility down in Miami. Your thoughts, final thoughts on it.
Maybe he just wants to hang with his bro. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, he wants to party.
But I think for him, he's like, look, if it's worth $500,000, that's my question is, hey, Cowboys ownership, what's up with that? Why would a player risk $500,000 to go get his rehab elsewhere? That's all. That's my question.
No doubt. Good call. It's my question too. And it goes back to that report card. Why is your training facility a C?
It shouldn't be.
Should not be.
Unless there's a bunch of players who were spiteful, which I can't imagine, because they ranked everything else not terrible on the like on their everything else A, B plus, B plus, A minus, B plus. Like that's all.
The only bad thing is training room and training staff.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But here we go. 6 takeaways from the final Cowboys OTA practice. And this is like, you know, we're going to read the headlines. We're going to read the little...
Done by
write-up.
Eat Me Out Eatman.
Is this Eatman?
I think he did the last one.
Oh, it's just all staff writers.
Oh, okay.
Just an orgy of staff writers.
Gotcha.
George... Hang on. If I click on this, it gets a little nicer. Let me get a little closer for everyone. There we go. Audio listeners are like, oh, I love
There's
that.
that little son. We don't have to listen to their voices for a second. If they made it this far into the show.
Hey, George Pickens' first wow play. After Pickens didn't see many targets in the first 2 media viewings of OTAs, his first wow play came in front of media. In front of the media was the play of the day on Tuesday with a grab from Dak Prescott in the scramble drill where Pickens caught the ball falling out of bounds at the front pylon and kept both feet in for a touchdown.
For a tutty.
Nice little touchdown. We've seen this. Are the OTAs pretty similar to what we are witnessing when we go to the training camp?
What's that, sorry?
The OTAs, like what they're doing at OTAs when we go to the training
We
camp.
see more.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
But they're not
drills.
they're not in pads, and they're probably doing similar.
That's
stuff.
what I mean. Probably similar drills.
That's what I'm saying.
But we've always been lucky. Like the couple times we've went down to training camp, we've seen a lot of like pet tackles and pops and stuff. No like following through on the hits, like tackling, going to the ground. But you see a little bit more competition. Yeah. Where this is like, guys, nobody wants to get hurt going into training camp, right? Like they all want to stay healthy, unless you're like one of the guys that hasn't made the team yet. But I think this is more beneficial for the offense than anything.
Right. And I guess the question I'm asking comes down to like, how much are we, because we don't take very much away from training camp as we, you can look back on our videos where we were knocking Brandon Aubrey. Mind you, no one made a fucking field goal.
Yeah.
So I think we were pretty warranted in our assessment.
And we weren't the only Cowboys fans thinking we were fucked at the kicking position after that.
But then, we came through. So same thing here. Like, take it for what you will. One thing I will say that I do like is, okay, some nice timings happening, and especially where we needed it in the red zone. If Pickens is going to end up with anything, I want him to have 14 touchdowns and 600 yards, not 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like, I think that's where he can really help make the Cowboys a better football team, is in that red zone.
Oh,
if I'm going to pick
sure.
and choose.
Yes, and the thing I like about Pickens is he's got that. Him and CeeDee Lamb have very good body control. Yes. The reason you see these acrobatic plays is because they can get their feet in, still fall away from the ball, and still bring the catch in. So I'm excited for that. This Pickens-Lamb combo, man, I know that there's going to be a lot of hype, but I think they're gonna match what the hype warrants.
They have to, man, and I wouldn't be surprised if, by week 4, 5, 6, we're seeing some top 3 ranked duo.
They should be.
I hope these guys. That's what we're hoping for. So Pickens is now number 3, 13. I know we talked about it already. Just want to get your opinion again. Do you like the 3 or 13 better?
I like the 3 because the Cowboys page on Instagram posted Pickens. Like, they wrote Pickens in capitals, but the E's a 3.
Okay.
So I kind of like that.
That's nice. And good on you, Cowboys. Social media is actually picking up a little. Still a little rusty, but
yeah, it could do better.
Could do better, but we're seeing better stuff, I think.
It's along with that training room. Their social media team should be up there too. Okay, Clark Bar. Okay, a guy that I've been super critical on, Damone Clark. It seems like the early praise for Damone Clark is well-founded as the veteran linebacker enters his 4th year in the NFL. This is make or break, right? 4th year, it's time to shit or get off the pot. And with the Cowboys, and this time with another change at defensive coordinator. So he's another guy that's kind of had 3 defensive coordinators in 4 years. Like, and that does suck for a player. In the 3rd and final practice of OTAs, Clark dropped back and picked off Joe Milton on a pass across the middle that was intended for Princeton Fant, displaying quick play recognition, reaction in the hands to reel in the takeaway for Matt Eberflus by Patrick Walker. So we like to see that. Because Damone Clark, I was very critical of last year. He ended up kind of being that guy that if he was on the field, I could not watch anything else but him.
Yeah.
And it was like there was one game he played like shit, but somehow had a good PFF grade, and everyone was like, oh, well, he was the highest PFF graded Dallas Cowboys player out there. I was like, well, one, the Cowboys lost by 40.
Yeah.
So that's irrelevant. And he looked like shit. Every tackle he made was after they got a first down. I don't care if he has 12 tackles if they're all for first downs.
Yeah,
right?
If you're a linebacker and your tackle depth is like 10 yards,
that's no bueno.
no bueno.
So I hope, man, if he can turn it around, if Damone Clark, and I've been wanting him to turn it around, when he got drafted in the 5th round out of LSU because he was injured in his final year of college, everyone thought, okay, this has a chance to be a very, very nice pick because he was projected 1st round. So if he can turn it around in year 4 in a contract year, figure it out and not only be a depth piece, but help out this defense, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, and he might end up being a real good sideline to sideline guy. I don't know where he fits in on this linebackers. I think that we have, if anything, we need some run blocking linebackers.
A guy to just get in there and take a block on.
So, hopefully Eberflus finds a place for Clark in this defense. Because I agree, the potential for him, for where he was drafted and how he performed in college, he had that injury year. Has he recovered enough? I don't know if you guys can see on this image here, but you can really see his scars on his knee from, from his surgery. So it's just wild how much that can really change a person.
We're rooting for him, and one thing I noticed with Damone Clark is when Leighton Vander Esch was still on the team, he was excelling.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Vander Esch retired, he kind of fell off a little bit because he didn't have, it's almost like he didn't have somebody coaching him up.
He needs maybe he needs well, he's in year 4 now, so he better be at that place now.
He has to
where
be.
you
There's no
understand what the fuck's going on.
excuses now.
But maybe
He
he
needs
also,
to be the guy coaching people up, if anything.
Absolutely. This is the time where you start taking that role. Maybe he needs someone who can step in and teach him a little bit more. If Eberflus is that guy who can find the right place for him,
We're all for it.
Next
I am cheering for him.
Next ones are a little bit lame, but we'll get through them. So Joe Milton showcases his accuracy. He did throw that interception, so we got to say that. But he did
to Damone Clark.
To Damone Clark, yes. But he completed 7 of his 8 passes during the team period, and those completions included a couple long throws outside the numbers and perfect deep ball to Jalen Brooks down the sideline. Jalen Brooks again. Dude who
off-season champ.
Off-season fucking champion. Get him on the field. But hey, it's nice to see Milton actually just needs some time to grow as a quarterback, and I think he's in a really good place. I feel like Dak Prescott is a guy who would be a teacher in the moments that he can be a teacher. So
yeah, I think Dak will, especially because he's not threatened.
No, not at all.
By Joe Milton. So I feel like you're always more inclined to teach someone when you're not threatened by them. Whereas when Aaron Rodgers got drafted, Brett Favre is on record saying, well, yeah, I didn't teach him nothing because, well, Aaron Rodgers was taken in the first round to take over his spot.
Yeah.
So why am I gonna do anything to help this guy progress, right? Where this is a little different.
And then Favre did go on to play like an extra 3 or 4 seasons.
17 years or something.
This one's whatever it is, but it's still nice to see because we're looking at this 2 UDFA safeties see time with first team defenses.
Okay. With Donovan Wilson spending time with the rehab group and Malik Hooker exiting practice during the team's stretching period, it opened up the door for UDFA's Elijah Clark and Mike Smith to practice with the first team defense in the secondary, along with Wanye Thomas. Clark had gotten some select reps earlier, but it was the first time that Smith was seen as often as he was with the first unit. So this is, I hate to say it, I hate to be that guy, but this is really the first time I'm hearing these names even.
Me too. And
that's how I always am with UDFAs. I hate to say it. We're not that versed in college football safeties yet.
No, but like you got to look at your tiers. Your rounds 1 to 3 are your kind of first tiers. You could even say round 1 is your S tier, and then 2 and 3 are your A tiers. And then 3 to whatever, 5,
Or
maybe
just the
high
Cs.
6 are your C's, and then anything else after that is your
need more,
your D's, and then UDFAs.
Incomplete.
No one took them.
Incomplete. That's just what it is on the tier.
So it's really hard for me to get excited about it. However, it's a need. Let's see what happens. It'd be great to pick up another guy who shows some skill. Who is the most recent UDFA on the Dallas Cowboys that has actually performed? Because
Wanye Thomas.
Yeah, okay.
And again, a safety. Wanye Thomas. I
guess our previous running back.
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Who else could we say it has been a very successful UDFA on the current team?
Chat, throw it out
Why
there.
do I want to think that? I'm trying to think here. Wanye definitely. Cavante Turpin.
Okay. Yeah.
Brandon Aubrey.
Mind you,
Brandon Aubrey.
He did perform in another league.
Another league, true.
But that's like equivalent to college,
But not drafted, though.
Not drafted. Yep. No, it counts for sure.
But besides that,
the Cowboys do well with the Cowboys do well. Do with their UDFAs.
They've always.
If one of those guys shows up and can be even just a backup and someone who we notice when he's out there.
If any of those guys make the team, like if a UDFA makes a team, that's massive. That's very.
They have a good chance with. We do have a diminished secondary, so they have a chance.
It's true.
Oh,
this ad will close in 1.
Didn't even show.
I didn't even see the ad.
Oh, Sam Williams back in business. Sam Williams, less than a year removed from his torn ACL injury that ended his season before it started, but that long journey back took another positive step on Tuesday as Williams was able to do some individual drills. He was wearing a knee brace, and the Cowboys probably won't let him be a full participant participant until training camp, and he may even start out on the pup. But hey, get him back in. That's from our boy Eat Me Out.
Dare I say one of the most excited players, like guys I'm excited for to see Sammy. I was so excited for Sam Williams last season.
I know.
And then he got hurt in training camp. Like, I think one of the first or second practices of training camp.
It is. And the injury gives me woes because I'm like, fuck, you lost a full year in your youth where it was a really important growth moment. So we definitely can't say that you're going to progress from that. Even though you're a third-year player, you've only got that second-year skill, barely. And it sucks.
He's looking yoked, though.
I want him to fucking be great. I really do want him to be great.
Are you excited to watch him, though?
Absolutely. I want him to be great. I'm worried, though, of just that loss of the year. It's tough. It's really tough. It's different if you lose a year when you're in, say, year 4, 5, 6.
Or played 7 games.
Oh, yeah,
in that season, right? Like, he didn't even step on it. Like, I think, like I said, I think it was either first or second practice of training camp.
But very promising.
Yeah, excited. I mean, it's kind of like we got a player that we weren't expecting, that the defense didn't have. I thought the defensive line, the rushing defense last year wasn't one of our problems. Like, getting to the quarterback still happened last year, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what this guy can do in year 4/year 3.
And then this.
So the toll road? Oh, so they're talking about Tolbert.
Tolbert, yeah.
So number 1, Jaylen Tolbert, for all the rightful talk about things being resolved opposite CeeDee Lamb, thanks to the trade to acquire George Pickens, it appears Jaylen Tolbert is beginning to take the early lead for the right to be viewed as wide receiver 3, which I would say outside of nickel corner, wide receiver 3 is probably going to be the other really contested spot at training camp. He highlighted the final practice of OTAs with an athletic one-handed grab while streaking across the back of the end zone in double coverage, and then let the defenders hear about it afterwards. Ooh, naughty boy.
Yeah, I mean...
So he got cray-cray after.
Look, I like Tolbert in wide receiver 3. We're going to see what he does. He has the best chance of his career right now with Lamb and Pickens out there just garnishing attention.
Yep.
And really, last year, sometimes you can even throw your tight end into the mix. I don't think he was even given that because the tight end play was just either not utilized correctly or just
dog shit.
Piss poor. So
awful last year.
He was the second target not last year, and now is the opportunity to be the third or fourth target. And you can look at that negatively, or he's just going to be that much more open.
Well, there's more than likely George Pickens isn't going to be with the Cowboys after the 1 year, right? That's almost, I wouldn't say certain, but pretty high up there, right? So if Jaylen Tolbert can ball out in the third spot and have another year of growth, maybe they bring him back to be the wide receiver 2 the next in 2026,
Sure.
right? So this is a great chance for him. I'm excited for him, and I know a lot of people, and I feel like we've said this every year since year 2 for Jaylen Tolbert. We've said this at this point of the season. We've said, oh, yeah, Tolbert's going to take the step. I don't know if we're necessarily saying that he's going to take a step. He just has to perform when he gets his chances. He's going to get chances of a lot of one-on-ones. He has to make those count. And all he has to do is match Cedric Wilson's stats from that 2021 season, which I think was like 600 yards and like 8. If he can have 600 yards and 8 touchdowns, that's a fucking massive season. Just match Seti the Ante. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. And but I have big hopes for Tolbert. I mean, I like the homegrownness of him, but he just needs to come out there and needs to score some touchdowns.
Got to prove it. And because he's going to get those matchups. He's definitely going to get those matchups. That was the final OTAs.
That was the final of the OTAs, yeah.
Now it's going to be, next up is minicamp, which Micah was talking about possibly going to or not going to. But that's another one done. Another OTA's done. Another Wednesday night main event done with yours truly and BW2. We will be back next Wednesday. Bandwagon Boy 1 will be back. Hopefully his shoulder isn't hurting him too bad. And
if not, he'll be in like
a chicken wing.
A chicken wing cast.
And he'll have to be using his face to hit all the buttons. Chat, we appreciate you guys stopping by. And if you have somebody that enjoys the offseason and isn't just frothing at the mouth to get football back.
Yeah, if they're like, no, You know what? I'd rather just sit in this for a couple more months.
I like doing things on Sunday, not getting drunk all day and watching football. Well, how about you go, you look them in the face, and you tell them to go fuck themselves!
Get them out of here.
Yeah, we out. Look at that creep. Look at the creep. You can't even see the cuck couch.
No.
It's like, that is scary. That is the abyss.
If we saw just evil eyes.
Oh my God, that would actually be a funny skit.
I would piss myself.
Stop streams.